Ladies and gentlemen, the warmest of welcomes to the Queen of the Adriatic, Venice, for the 32nd edition of the Huawei Venicemarathon. And there you see the gorgeous site of Villa Pisani, located 20 kilometers to the west of Venice, and that is the start line for the 32nd edition of the Venice Marathon. The runners gathering. We've got now just under 10 minutes until kickoff time, that is 9:40. And there you see the droves of the 10-kilometer runners. They're coming back into the heart of Venice at the end of their race. But as you can see, weather today, untypical, because last year was great sunshine. Today it's a gloomy, cold day, 14 degrees. And as you can see, overcast. The wind is quite light, which is good for the runners, particularly as they come over the Liberty Bridge at the end of the marathon. Should be quite cool conditions today. I would say that a quick time is very possible. But certainly, it's cold enough out there, just a question of whether the runners will be losing or burning calories in trying to keep warm out on the 42-kilometer Venice Marathon course. Villa Pisani in Stra, the start line for the 32nd edition of the Venice Marathon that started back in 1986. And there you see the winged lion. And that is the official emblem of the Venice Marathon. And who will be crowned as Lion King this morning? There's some very quick Kenyans, of course, and Ethiopians in the field. We don't have the last year's champion, Julius Chepkwony-Rotich, isn't coming back today to try and make it 3 on the trot, because only 3 men in the history of this great marathon have won it twice. And they are Julius Chepkwony-Rotich, the defending champion of last year and 2015. Salvatore Bettiol won the first 2 editions, 86 and 87 for the home nation for Italy, and Jonathan Kosgei for Kenya. He did the double in 2006 and 2007. But there you see the scenes in Stra, the start of this grueling race. And there you'll see the end of the race. That's St. Mark's Square, the finest square in the world, which will greet the runners on their trudge to home, or for the leaders on the sprint to the 42-kilometer finish line. Quiet at the moment, but you know that in 2 hours or so, that square, the most famous in the world, will be jam-packed as the Venice people prepare to greet the 2017 Huawei Venice Marathon. And there you see one of the bridges they'll cross on their run to the finish line. That is the incredible Pontoon Bridge that has been literally erected overnight. It can only be put up last night, and it is disassembled this evening to keep the waterways free for the heavy boat traffic that comes daily in and out of Venice ports. But there you see the runners gathering. It's battle time, gathering for the 2017 Huawei Venice Marathon. ASD Venice Marathon Club are organisers for this 32nd edition, and there you'll see the closing stages. The runners will wend their way, quite twisty and turny, at the back end of the course, and the 14 bridges to climb and descend is a real interruption to the rhythm, and is another hurdle when the legs are getting tired and energy sapped. And next the question is, who will win this year? Well, big favourite is Ethiopian Shami Abdullah Dawood. It is 33 years of age, boasts a very impressive 2 hour, 5 minutes and 42 second personal best. that he set winning the Hamburg Marathon back in 2012. That's the only question mark in my mind as to Dawood's chances. That super time was now 5 years ago. And he hasn't run a huge amount since that very good win in Hamburg. But certainly the Ethiopian will be one of the hot favourites, I would say, to take victory this afternoon. Also the Kenyan Mutai Kipkemai it is, again 33 years of age, world ranking number 107. His PB is 2 hours and 9 minutes, 29 seconds. He set that again a little time ago, 3 years ago in Hengshui in China. Gilbert Chumba, also strong for Kenya, again 33 years of age. This year won the Kigali Peace Marathon in Rwanda, 2 hours and 19 minutes, but remember, under the scorching heat in Africa. Other likely contenders for the men's title, Mohamed Nur Hussein, the Eritrean. He's 34 years of age, set his PB again 5 years ago in Dubai with 2 hours and 16 minutes. Well, they're packing together, they're grouping, anticipating the starts. By my watch, it's still 5 minutes away. However, we will see. Will they jump the gun here for the 32nd edition of the Huawei Venicemarathon?
Huawei Venicemarathon.
42 kilometers, 195 meters is the last slice of the distance challenge, the endurance stamina crusade that faces these valiant men and women at the start in Stra. As I say, they're at Villa Pisani, this most famous Baroque mansion designed in the 16th century. And the villa of the noble Pisani family on this incredible Riviera del Brenta. Alvise Pisani, who was a doge here in Venice in 1735, commissioned this wonderful Villa Pisani, and it's welcomed doges, kings and emperors. Now it's a national museum, and its big feature is Giambattista Tiepolo's masterpiece, depicting the glory of the Pisani family on the ballroom ceiling. And that's the real art note of Villa Pisani. But incredible history here as well. It was sold as a villa to Napoleon Bonaparte, no less, in 1807. And it was also the first official meeting place of no less than Mussolini and Adolf Hitler. They met here for the very first time in 1934. After the Austrian riots. So history, of course, all over this wonderful city. And that will be the other end of the race. They'll see the top guys in about 2 hours and 10 minutes or so. Just to remind you, the course record set by John Coleman, the Kenyan, 2:08.13 he set back in 2009, 8 years ago. The women's record set by Helena Kirrup of Kenya as well, 2 hours and 23 minutes, 37 seconds. And there's a super bonus if anybody can beat either the men's or the female record. 10,000 euros will go to men or women that take a time quicker than those I've just given you. But there are our elite athletes under starters' orders. I got down to Mohamed Nur Hussein, the Eritrean. The other very popular runner here will be Faniel Gebrehivet, the Italian now. He was born in Eritrea but has been an Italian national since 2015. And he's also in super shape. Set his PB last year at the Florence Marathon, 2 hours and 15 minutes, 39 seconds. And he's 24, so one of the younger guns. And of course, the Italians will all be backing Faniel for victory this afternoon. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's start time. The Huawei Venicemarathon is moments away from kickoff, and there are the elite men and women gathering at Villa Pisani for the start of the 2017 marathon. As we say, cool conditions, overcast, cloudy skies, a light breeze, but I think we'll lend to quite a quick time. Just a query over whether the runners will lose energy in trying to keep their bodies warm out on the track. We've had 3 double champions here in Venice. Julius Chepkwony-Rotic, the most recent of those double champions. 2015, 2016, Salvatore Bettiol won the first 2 editions of the Venice Marathon in 86 and 87. And Jonathan Koskay sandwiched in the middle, 2006 and 7. But nobody this time will be doing the double because Julius Chepkwony-Rotic not running this morning. So we're looking towards a new 2017 champion. We're just moments away from the start time of 9:40 here in Italy. And the Queen of the Adriatic, Venice City, will be awaiting these elite athletes in just over 2 hours. It would be amazing if 2 hours and 8:13 could be sabotage this morning. I would be very surprised. I don't think the weather conditions quite favouring a record, but still a very quick time is more than possible. Well, Punta Dogana will run them back towards the finish line here in Riva dei Sette Marini, where we're sitting alongside the finish line. That's the finish line of the 10K that is just completed. And we are away, ladies and gentlemen. The Huawei Venicemarathon for 2017, the 32nd edition is up and running. And already the field has been split up. The front pack have gone off like arrows out of the crossbow. And they say goodbye to Villa Pisani. This Baroque mansion, the incredible start line. And there you see the distance to go, 42 kilometers. So we focus on the men's leading pack. And it's another massive entry for 2017. They'll be coming for quite a few hours through the finish line. Those starters will be way out in the lead, you can bet it. On the right side in the orange, we can see the colours. That's Bernard Kipling at Betts, number 25, the Eritrean. As we say, there's such a number of runners who are in with a good shout. Time-wise, Shami Abdullahi Dawood, the Ethiopian, has got the edge with that incredible 2-hour, 5-minute personal best he set in Hamburg. But my one reservation was that time was 5 years ago, so whether he's held that form for Venice is the one question mark over the chances of Ethiopian victory this morning, or will be this afternoon, just about when they come home. Of course, not only about the elite runners, marathon running, a sport that grips many, many people. They're known as fun runners, but I tell you, I've done 5 marathons myself, and it's not exactly fun. It's got a certain buzz about it, but it's not sheer pleasure all the time out there. It's a lot of hard work and graft. But these are runners who won't be winning, but will be delighted. Just to complete a marathon is a huge sense of achievement. And these are boys, though, that will be battling for the victory. And the women, of course, hot favourites. winner last year. And that is Priska Cheptegei-Cherono for Kenya, defending champion. And she's running this morning, unlike Julius Chepkwony-Rotich, the defending men's champion. Well, the first kilometre snakes along the River Brenta, which drains from Trentino, drains Lakes Levitko and Caldonazzo down to the Adriatic Sea, just south of the Venetian Lagoon. 174 kilometres in total length, the River Brenta. We actually run along a branch of the Brenta, which is the Naviglio del Brenta, which was designed to connect the two ancient strongholds of Padua and Venice. Padua, the Veneto region's second major city. And this incredible Riviera del Brenta, so many mansions and villas, which provides an incredible backdrop to our lead runners. Villa Soranzo will be the next villa they come across. Again, 16th century, like Villa Pisani, just alongside the famous Castellana Road, and one of the homesteads of one of the most powerful Venetian families, the direct descendants of Doge Giovanni Soranzo, who was elected back in 1312, known as having the Midas touch. Which of our leading runners will have the Midas touch this afternoon is more on my mind. But Villa Soranzo fell into disrepair in the early 20th century and now is a hotel. This is the end of the 10K, and this was the winner. This gentleman came home to take the 10K race. Sponsored by Garmin, the wonderful navigation devices, and he ran a blistering race. And these are the bridges which will be so challenging at the end of the marathon. These men have, as I say, just run the 10 kilometers, which is no mean feat. But by the end of the 42 kilometers, it's then a real exercise in endurance and stamina and sheer leg power to propel yourself up and down the bridges. They interrupt your rhythm. And we've heard many accounts of runners in the latter stages here in Venice getting so weary up and down these 14 bridges on the run to the finish line. So Simone Gobbo it was, the Italian who came home. 34:34 the time. Super effort it was for the Italian to claim victory. And this, the female champion, 40:52:53 seconds. For her, many, many congratulations. And there's the overcast, clouded skies that have descended over Venice ominously this morning. A gloomy sight for our spectators who will be starting to gather. And there you see Priska Cheptegei-Cherono in the middle of your picture. The women's defending champion, sitting very tidy, looking very comfortable. Just approaching 7 minutes into her race. 37 years of age now, Priska, from Kamiwa, the Nandi district of Kenya. Had a super track career before turning her attention to distance running. Ran in the Hong Kong Olympics in 2008 and was 11th in the 5,000 meters in the Olympics in China. 3 World Championships as well, including a great bronze at the Osaka World Champs in 2007. And there you see the leading men on the right side of your picture. That's certainly Bernard Kiplangat Bet, the Kenyan, looking pretty comfortable. And Chirono herself also second as a junior, won the silver in Torino. Not too far away on the other side of Italy, northwestern Italy. That was in '97 as a junior. Made her marathon debut in Lille in France back in September 2012. Finished third at her very first effort. And then she won the Florence Marathon 2015, second in Enschede on the east side of Holland. That was last year. And of course, defending champion, setting her PB here in Venice last year as well. And that was 2 hours, 27 minutes, 41 seconds. There's the favourites. Shami Abdullah Dawood it is for Ethiopia, just tucked in behind the leading runners. Looking very, very easy here. As I say, that personal best, 2:05.42, is a real warning shot to the others that he's in business. Came quite late to elite athletics. He comes from a family of farmers who grow corn and sorghum in Harar in Ethiopia. He manages to get home to Ethiopia about twice a year. His first appearance in Europe was at the Marathon des Alpes Maritimes in 2009. And he was seventh there, 2 hours and 14 minutes, 9 seconds. And then he really showed his pace, winning the Olympic half marathon and scalping the favourite, Eliud Kiptanui, in 1 hour and 44 seconds. Was a brilliant run. So, top of your picture, the men's leading pack. 6 strong it is. And in the bottom of your picture, you can see the favourite for the ladies' title, Priska Jeppeting-Chirono, just opening up her cylinders, blowing out the cobwebs, and preparing for this serious 42-kilometre course. The second village they come through now is Fieso d'Artico. After Stra, a very important town in Veneto and distinguished particularly as 1,000 years of age. Mentioned in documents going all the way back to 1025. And Fieso d'Artico halfway between Padua and Venice. Initially named because Fieso derives from the Latin flexum, reflecting the river Brenta's curve alongside the village. And then the Artico part comes from the lawyer Angelo Maria Artico, who created the last great deviation in the river to safeguard the town from floods. And there you see the roll of honour of the men's champions and the double winner, Julius Chepkwony-Rotich, winning last year that 2 hours, 10-minute time. That's the course record there, 2009 for John Coleman. And there you see our leading men, and Mutai Kipkamai, the Kenyan, is alongside Bernard Kiplangad Betts. Mutai Kipkamai, again 33 years of age. I gave you a potted history a little bit earlier, but just to elaborate a little bit further, this year run in the Paris Marathon, 13th position, but a quick time in Paris, 2 hours and 10 minutes, 31 seconds. As I said, his personal best, 2 hours and 9 minutes, 29 seconds, running himself into third in the Heng Shui Marathon in China. That was 3 years ago. But there's the ladies' champion defending her title, hopefully, this afternoon. And there's the time she'll be loving to better. That super world record of Paula Radcliffe, the brilliant British distance runner, set in London, 2003, 2 hours 15. As Priska Jeppeting looking very easy. So Bet still tucked up on the left-hand side in the orange colours of your picture. And there you'll see Sami Dawood, the hot favourites. The Ethiopian just tucked on the right-hand side. Well, the lead pack comprised of Ethiopia, Kenya and Eritrea. Early days yet, but the 7 men locked in battle as they come through the early kilometres here in the Huawei Venicemarathon. So there you see the chasing pack, just struggling in their visibility just to get the runners' names for you, but that's certainly the lead pack. 14 minutes into the Huawei Venicemarathon. Bet still on the inside there in the orange colours. The Kenyan runs for Run Together, the super organisation that links African distance running to European events and gives the Africans a great chance to come over to Europe and get exposure on this super European circuit. Well, the Venetian gondoliers, they'll be, there they are, just patrolling up and down the Grand Canal, awaiting the sight of our fantastic runners. Couple of hours away from St. Mark's Square they are, as they're out on the west side of the Veneto region. The first times we'll get is when they come into Dolo at the 5K mark, will be the first times we'll have through. And there you see them. We've got Bernard Kiplang at bet. We've got Robert Kiplimo, the favourite, Shami Abdullahi Dawood, and Mutai Kipkemai, the Kenyan, world rank number 107. They're all through the 5K mark at Dolo. Kilometre 6 is approaching in Dolo. And this is the great traditional welcome where the church mass attendees will stop their praying to cheer the marathon runners on.
Al terzo posto, con il tempo di 53 minuti e 58 secondi, Alberto Penzo.
And Dolo has the fantastic church bell tower, which is very close to the marathon course. It's a real landmark in Dolo. And there you see it, kilometre 5. 15 minutes, 32 seconds. The quickest time in there. You'll see the estimate, 2 hours, 11 minutes and 5 seconds is the predicted time. And Dolo itself, again, real heritage dating back to the early 15th century. And a town linked to the construction of water mills initially. They ground down the wheat from the local farms to grind the flour, which was then carried on cargo boats. The Burchiello, to take the ground flour into the city of Venice. And also drinking water from the Seriola River near Dolo was also taken to Venice. So now also through David Kiprono Meta, Gilbert Chumba, and the home favourite for Italy, the former Eritrean Faniel Gebri Vet as well, also through the 5 kilometre mark. Well, there you see the famous bell tower of Dolo greeting our runners. Dolo's name is a little bit controversial as to its origin because there's a few hypotheses. One of them is it's a contraction of Dandolo, which was an ancient Venetian family which gave a doge to Venice, or could have come from Dolo, the Italian, with D-O-L-L-O, two L's. And the second L in archaic Italian could also have meant a tower, which again would make sense as a name. So as I say, a few theories. And then there's the very famous Canaletto painting of 1755, the Lock at Dolo, which is an extraordinary piece of art. None of that will be anywhere near the marathon runners' minds at the moment, as they just try and get into a strong rhythm. Get their legs nicely oiled, get them breathing regularly and efficiently. At this stage, trying to keep up with the pace, but also not to expend too much energy. Of course, energy conservation is a big challenge in marathon running, and there you see it. Go, go, go. You guys are the top. And our super title sponsors, Huawei, as well, being recognized by our spectators. So in the middle is Kipkemai, Mutai Kipkemai, the Kenyan. The world number 107, looking very comfortable. Just easing onto the shoulder of Bernard Kiplangat Betts, the Kenyan on the outside in the orange. And on the inside is Chelimo. Our front 3 runners, early stages, just 20 minutes into the 32nd edition of the Venice City Marathon, and Dawood, the favourite, is just locked on their shoulders, looking ominous, just prowling his prey. He won't strike too soon, of course. There you see Dawood, just nicely located. There's Mutai Kipkemai. So Kiplimo, the Kenyan, Robert Kiplimo it is. Number 22, there is the favourite Dawood. And Meto, David Kiprono, the Kenyan, looking very comfortable as well. And there's Gilbert Chumba, the Kenyan as well, just the back of the leading pack. Again, just tracking those in front. And there you see the ladies' favourites looking very comfortable. Prisca Jepeting Cherono. Well, now some early times. That's a little bit of a way ago now, but the 5K times, Bernard Kiplangat Betts. 15 minutes, 33 seconds, exactly the same time for Robert Kiplomo, Shami Abdullahi Dawood, and Mutai Kipkemai, all 15 minutes, 33 seconds. 1 second adrift, both of David Kiprono Meto and Gilbert Chumba. 15:34 for that pair. And then we've got Solomon Shumai, Faniel Gebrievet, the Italian, Mohamed Musa, on 15 minutes and 45 seconds. So that's 12 seconds adrift, the chasing pack. Just to give you an idea of the early advantage that our leaders are establishing. Early stages of the Huawei Venice Marathon. The leading males looking like they're extending their lead, really starting to drive the legs. It's quite breathtaking if you're a runner any tight when you realize just the splits, every kilometer run in blistering pace, and they sustain it. That's what's then doubly impressive. Not only the sheer pace, but the fact it just doesn't ease up the pace. And as we say, John Coleman, our Venice Marathon quickest time, 2:08:13, he sets 8 years ago now in 2009. Chirono on the right side of your picture. And also there is Sula Utura-Gedo as well. And that's the Ethiopian. We'll come to her in just a moment. And just to tell you though, Chirono's form this year, she ran only once. One marathon, that was back in March. She ran in Seoul and was fifth in a time of 2 hours, 28 minutes and 29 seconds. And F2 on the right of your picture, that is another hot favourite, Sula Utura-Gedo, the Ethiopian from Bor in Ethiopia. Her personal best was last year in Paris. 7th she was placings-wise, but the time was good. 2 hours and 34 minutes and 8 seconds. And Sula this year was 11th in the Dubai Marathon to kick off her 2017 campaign. 11th she was in Dubai, 2 hours 37 minutes and 27 seconds. But there, the lead pack of the 7 men. Kilometers 7 and 8 have got some gorgeous features. Kilometer 7, the lovely bell tower, the ancient square, the boatyards that are famous here in Venice. And Villa Ferretti and Villa Tron coming at the 7 kilometer mark. And also Villa Ferretti Angeli as well from 1608. Vincenzo Scamosi's masterpiece. And also the gorgeous Tyrolean boathouses that are alongside the Square because the workers came from Cadore in the Dolomites and they brought their traditional wooden houses down as the little hostels alongside the boatyards. Kilometer 8 again has got some wonderful features, including Villa Badoa, dates back to 1556, and one of the masterpieces of the master, Andrea Palladio. Took 7 years to build, completed in 1563, and since 96, Villa Badoa has been part of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the city of Vicenza, and the Palladian villas of Veneto as well. And one of 30 villas credited to Andrea Palladio. That won't be of any interest to those gentlemen at this point. And kilometer 9, they'll enter Mira again. Famous city, the main city on the Riviera del Brenta. The lead is unchanged. Sammy Doward sitting very comfortably in the middle of the pack. The man with the best time as a personal best coming into this 32nd edition of the Venice Marathon. Shami, when he's not running, enjoys watching action movies and also quite a keen follower of the English Premier League football. And he's a big Chelsea fan when he's not on the road. 2 hour, 5 minute, 42 seconds. Brilliant personal best he's got, the win in Hamburg. He was third in Toronto, Shami, back in 2014 in 2 hours and 8 minutes, so he's regularly around that sort of a mark.
forte in questo momento del gruppo degli inseguitori, si distingue Eyob Pagnel, Gabriel Bette, ma per comodità Eyob Pagnel e basta per il momento. Poi naturalmente procederemo anche con il suo, interamente con il suo cognome.
It's Chumba at the back of your pack, the back of your picture. Gilbert Kipling Chumba from Kenya. Just the back marker of the men's chasing pack. Quite a short stride Chumba's got, in contrast to the other runners who look a little bit longer and more languid in stride pattern. They're the leading men up on the front of the pack, approaching 30 minutes already. Incredible how quickly these men are covering the train here once again. On the outside still is Bet, running very easily, the experienced Kenyan. Kiplimo on the near side in the blue. And that's Dawud, just tucked in behind Kiplimo, the hot favourites. The men's chase pack, eyeing up these men. Still the 7 that are out in front. Mirror the lovely city at 9 kilometers, again rich in famous villas, the Villa Vania, Villa Giustunen Mocenigo, Villa Bon, and probably the most famous Villa Vigman as well. And there you see Gilbert Chumba at the back of the pack. Number 2, left side of your picture, that is Shami Abdullah Dawud, the race favourite. Looking very comfortable, and David Kiprono Meto in the orange colours as they enter Mira. This the main city on the Riviera del Brenta. And this municipality is actually already part of the metropolitan city of Venice. And look at the pace already, they're injecting as they cruise through Mira. The southern eastern part of this town is characterised by the Barini, which are the typical lagoon islands, linked by canals and often submerged by the tide. Very high tidal shifts here in Mira. And this city again dates back to the Middle Ages, founded by the boat people of the river. Its original name was Kazoksana, and then known as San Nicolo from Mira, but now simply Mira. And its industry these days rests on the tourism that the river creates. The river, of course, a beautiful vantage point for seeing all of the villas in their elegance and beauty. And also Miralanza is here, and that is the very famous Italian company that manufactures powders and soaps. And that another part of the industry of Mira, the principal city along the Riviera. Villa dei Leoni, the House of Lions, is another feature. The 2 lions that guard the 19th century villa. Another super view for our spectators. And looks like the front pack is starting to break up a little bit. It looks like Chumba's being left adrift as the lead runners start to inject a little bit of pace here. An interesting early move coming at the 9 kilometer mark. It's an early point to be breaking away. But this early pace is looking very rapid already. Dawud just puts his hand up, maybe just clashed with Kipkemai, Mutai Kipkemai that is for Kenya. The tall figure on the left side of your picture. Bet still on the left side, just out of view at the moment in the orange colours. But these runners already into a beautiful rhythm, gazelle-like as they pound down the high street of Mira. This pace has picked up dramatically for me in the last minute or so. So Kipkemai, Meto on the outside behind the favourite Dawud in the orange colours. That's Meto. David Kiprono, the Kenyan. Half an hour into their running and the lead men are not disappointing. Looking like a brisk early pace already. This steely grey day in the Veneto region. Not much wind to talk about, which will certainly be a big advantage as they cross the Liberty Bridge at the end of the run. About 38 kilometres is that long, nearly 4 kilometre, pounding, featureless run across the Ponte della Libertà, which has broken hearts and lost races here in Venice over the history. The multiple winners, as we said earlier, Salvatore Bettiol, winner of the first 2 editions. One of 3 men, along with Jonathan Koskaj, and the defending champion, Julius Cepkwony Rotic. So Richard Bed already just checking his watch. Still at the front of the pack on the left-hand side. The favourites looking very comfortable in 5th position, just tucked in on the shoulder of the leading runners, as I say. 3rd in Toronto, 2014, 4th in Amsterdam in 2013. But that Hamburg win really distinguished his class and marked him apart, setting that course record in the north of Germany now 5 years ago.
Una giornata straordinariamente calda sul traguardo di Campo Santi Apostoli, vince lo scricciolo del Montello, Salvatore Bettiolo con un margine enorme, 8 minuti e 26 secondi su Alberto Lucherini, terzo classificato Alpio Ciceri.
That's David Meadow just out of your picture now in the orange colours still. Up on the left side, Bernard Kiplangat bets. The run together for Kenya. And the middle of the picture, that's Moses Kemai for Kenya in the red colours. So the front of the men's race, as you can see, a tightly packed, hotly contested affair. The women's race still, it is Priska Japating Chirono, Kenya, and Sula Utura Gedo for Ethiopia, locked in battle. So Robert Kiplimo it is on the right of your picture again, one of our leaders, the Kenyan. But they'll all be nervous because Shami Abdullahi Dawud is lurking ominously on their shoulders. As you can see, their current position just approaching the 11-kilometre mark in the heart of Mira, this super city. The Burchiello, the famous barges which escorted the Venetian aristocracy from their homes in the Veneto region on the Riviera up to Venice. That was their summer houses, their retreats, to try and avoid the plagues of Venice, the gambling, and try and conserve their money. But that really didn't work very successfully because typically villas started to be gambled in high-stakes betting matches in the evening. And also the aristocrats used to love flaunting their artwork, so they'd commission the likes of Giambattista Tiepolo and other famous artists. As there you see Villa Vigman is the backdrop. They come past as we speak in the heart of Mira. Villa Vigman, 18th century stately home, frescoed and designed in the Rococo style. And this amazing reception hall. Angeli, the artist in the 18th century, famed for the Murano sea monster chandeliers which adorn the hallways of Villa Vigman. Originally owned by Persian Venetian nobility. And one of the real highlights. So definitely in the middle, Moses Kemai, looking very strong, the Kenyan. Number 23 in the middle of your picture. They're already approaching the 14-kilometer mark. That's going to be Oriago, not too far away from our lead men as they wend their way down the Naviglio del Brenta. This part of the race, the most impressive in terms of the backdrops with the villas. Then it will get a little bit blander as they come into Marghera and then into Mestre. And then, of course, the featureless Ponte de Liberta, with nothing to distract the runners from their pain, their aching bodies, their screaming muscles. But then, of course, the beauty picks up again spectacularly into the famous heart of Venice, which is awaiting. There's Kipkemai, Mutai Kipkemai, the Kenyan, the tall figure. On the near side of your picture, Shami Dawud, the favourite, right in the middle in prime position. And still out in front, it's Moses Kemai, the Kenyan, locked head-to-head with Bernard Betts, number 25, the Kenyan, on the left side of your picture in the orange colours. That's our lead runners in the Huawei 32nd edition of the Venice Marathon. And our two leading ladies, Prisca Jetpating-Cherono, the defending champion, still looking cool as a cucumber. Unsurprisingly, with her wealth of experience. And alongside her, shoulder to shoulder with Ethiopia's Sula Utura Gedo. Prisca now 37 years of age. 3 World Championship appearances, and that super bronze in Osaka, over 5,000 meters. Took 4th in Daegu, South Korea. That was back in 2011, and also 7th in 2005. And silver in the Fukuoka IAAF World Cross Country Champs 11 years ago now in 2006, and that junior silver as well at the Worlds in Torino in 97. And Prisca impressively ran for Kenya on 10 occasions between 97 and 2011 at the World Cross Country Championships. The men's chasing pack come under one of the bridges alongside the Riviera del Brenta. A cyclist alongside is urging them to pick up the pace and try and bother or rattle the cages of the 7 men that are up ahead of them. And in that chasing pack is the Italian favourite, Fanio Iob Gebrievet. Runs for the Venice Marathon Club, an Eritrean of origin. 42 minutes into their run. And coming now up towards Oriago, the 14-kilometer mark. But the lead pack, ladies and gentlemen, remains unchanged. Still, the favourites. Shami Abdullah Dawood looking very comfortable in the middle of your picture. A fairly slight figure of Dawood looking easy, just on the shoulder of Bernard Betts. Moses Kemai, Mutai Kipkemai, all in the leading group. And this is the chasing pack. A little bit of drift at the 5K mark in Dolo. The chase pack with 12 seconds in arrears. There's Meto on the left of your picture, David Kiprono for Kenya in the orange colours. And now we have a little look at how our lead ladies are doing. Looking very comfortable. On the left side is the hot favourites and defending champion, Priska Japleting-Cherono. As we said a little bit earlier, she set her personal best here at Venice last year, 2 hours 27:41. That was on cue. That's the time. Her personal best, the winner. Gehebehira is the winner the year before. That's the course record, 2011 for Helena Kirop. For Kenya, 2 hours 23:37. And Koskai, a winner 2 years before that. And as we said earlier, sadly, the winner of the men's race not here to try and do the treble this year. But it would be wonderful if Priska Japleting-Cherono could double up for the ladies' title. That's what she's, of course, got her mind very firmly fixed on as they come in towards Oriago. Oriago, a tiny fraction of the municipality of Mira in the province of Veneto. This was a very swampy, marshy area previously in nigh on continuity with this Venice lagoon. And Oriago traditionally was the last stronghold of Padua's Brenta River before entering the territories of the Venetian Republic. Has a very famous parish church dedicated to St. Mary Magdalene, which is a 15th century edifice and houses a beautiful painting by Titian's brother, Francesco Vecchiello. Has got a famous painting in the church in Oriago. That's at the 14-kilometer mark. Well, our super visual showing you 15 kilometers is about to be ellipsed by our leading men in the heart of Oriago. We focus for a moment on the ladies. Shoulder to shoulder, Sila Utudo Ghetto and Priska Japleting-Cherono, the defending champion. And the younger Ethiopian just got a slight advantage. Nothing in it at the moment. I must say, the younger Ethiopian to me looking a little bit more comfortable. Cherono just labouring a little bit already. The defending champion looks to me a little bit more stressed, for want of a better word, than Ghetto. Ghetto to me looks very easy and relaxed in her stride. Cherono's just gritting her teeth a little bit, but of course the mind goes directly back to Paula Radcliffe, the world record holder, who always looked as though she was fighting a big battle, but didn't stop her from setting the world record and going on to many, many victories, of course. And Paula always looked as though she was really grinding it out. But Ghetto, as you can see, looking very, very comfortable. And that's Simon Ruggett, we can just see, the Kenyan, up ahead of the two leading ladies. wearing number 26. A quick view of the, again, overcast conditions in San Giuliano's Park, which will be a little way away from our runners yet. Up in the late 30 kilometers, they'll be coming into the largest park in Europe, which is the last stages before they come to the Liberty Bridge. If you're just joining us at home, a very warm welcome to the 32nd edition of the Huawei Venicemarathon. Gloomy skies in Venice, overcast, a steely grey feel to this famous city. Quite cold conditions, just 14 degrees, a little breeze as well. Conditions perhaps a little bit on the cool side of being absolutely ideal, but still we are anticipating a pretty quick finishing time. Oriago greets our runners. This, again, lovely town on the banks of the Naviglio del Brenta. Our lead runners looking comfortable. 7 of them. Dawood Kipkemai, Meto, Kiplimo, Kemai, Bet, stretching out their long legs as they come through Oriago. 14 and 15 kilometers already bettered. Kilometer 16 will be a little injection of energy for our runners because it's the marathon and music show at kilometer 16, where there's some great bands playing to welcome our runners. The men's chasing pack, there it is. Musa is at the back of it. Mohamed Musa for Kenya. The little figure in the black colours at the back, looking fairly comfortable. And also in that pack, Faniel Eob Gebrievet, the Italian favourite for the Venice Marathon Club, his home marathon. The Eritrean of origin, but has been under the Italian citizenship for a little time now. And also, it's Mogo Shume, the Eritrean. That's a tall figure in the blue. Shume came through 5K in 15:45, so 11 seconds down on the leaders. And we'll focus for a moment on the ladies. Just a little bit more information, though, about that home favourite, Faniel Gebrievet, who's not out of it at all. Has had Italian citizenship for the last 2 years. Marco Madelon initiated him into the athletics world. And he first trained with Giancarlo Cittolini and latterly with Ruggero Pertile. He lives and trains in Cassola here in the Venice province and is a member, as we've said, of the Venice Marathon Club. His PB was set last year in Italy, in Florence. 2 hours and 15 minutes, 39 seconds was the time. As a half marathon PB set in Prague back in April this year. That was 1 hour, 3 minutes and 9 seconds. And Faniel is in super form. He recently won the Rome half marathon. That was just in September. Set a blistering 1 hour and 3 minute, 26 second time. And last year he won the Del Brenta half marathon. And also this season, he had a very good 10,000 metre, third place in the Italian champs in Rome. That was in May of this year, setting 29 minutes and 4 seconds. Again, a blistering time. He'll be a dangerous man in the chasing pack. Our leaders, I think, are extending that early advantage they had, but Faniel Gebrievet will be a man they'll know is more than capable of a speed injection to close that gap as the race goes on. So still Moses Kemai out in front for the Purosang Athletics Club from Kenya. The little figure in the red leading the 7 men at the front of the Huawei Venicemarathon. And they're the leaders of the women's. The defending champion on the near side of your picture, Priska Chirono, and Sula Utura Gedo, the Ethiopian, locked in battle, being tracked by Lorenzo Perlo, that is. The Italian runner, that's wearing number 32. But there we see the head of the men's battle. And in the orange on the left side, that's Bet. In the middle, Moses Kemai. And then we've got the favourite, still just tucked in on their shoulders, Shami Abdullahi Dawood, looking very comfortable. That's him in the second row of the runners on the right side of your picture. Slightly stockier figure. In the blue is the favourites. Well, on the approach already to kilometre 18, they pass through Malcontenta, Villa Malcontenta, another one of the Palladio masterpieces from 1558. Built for the Foscari family, that's his proper name, Villa Foscari. But because Elisabetta, because of not fulfilling her conjugal duty, sadly, was locked up for 30 years in Villa Malcontenta. And that's at the 18-kilometre mark. They'll shortly be coming into the industrial area of Porto Marghera. That's the next landmark at kilometre 19. They're already approaching the half marathon points remarkably. And there, Chirono and Gedo, shoulder to shoulder. Chirono, to me, just looks as though she's just lost that slight strained look about her some 10 minutes or so ago. Now looking easier in her running. But Gedo, for me, looks absolutely unruffled. The younger Ethiopian. Gedo, 27 years of age, so 10 years the junior of Chirono. In 2008, she became the world champion over 5,000 meters at the junior world champs. In 07, she was again the world youth 3,000 meter champion. And the same year was fourth in the world junior cross-country champs in Kenya. She set her personal best in Paris last year. 7th she ran into in 2 hours, 34 minutes and 8 seconds. And as we say, 11th in the Dubai Marathon and looking very easy. I think Chirono is going to have a little bit of a fight on her hands as this race progresses. The young Ethiopian, she's got all of the experience, all of the credentials at the highest level. And to me, looks absolutely cool as a cucumber. And I think the defending champion is going to have to really battle for her title as she comes into the Queen of the Adriatic in a couple of hours or so. So once again, we see the steely grey skies over Venice on this less than favourable weather day. Bright sunshine last year. Mind you, the date is late enough in October not to expect the sun to be shining. But once again, we focus on the leading runners. That's Bernard Betts for Kenya. Orange on the left side. Still absolutely settled with number 23 Moses Kemai in the middle in the crimson red colours. And they're the favourites, still looking very comfortable. Running easy, Shami Abdullahi Dawood. The Ethiopian just again tucked in behind the leading runners. And the back marker of the leading pack, number 4. That is Gilbert Chumba. And up on the right side of your picture, that's number 22, Robert Kiplimo. Kiplimo running shoulder to shoulder at the front of the pack. And there you see the course changes that have happened over the history here in Venice. There's been a number of changes over the years. The first year of the Pontoon Bridge, that was in '91. There's a huge bridge literally constructed the night before the marathon and disassembled this evening as well. The finish here in Riva dei Sette Martiri was in '96. The finish line was relocated. And as you saw in the graphic, the start came to Villa Pisani in 2006. Was the first time that Stra and Villa Pisani was the famous start line for the Venice Marathon. So Chirono and Ghetto, 1 hour into their running. The female record, 2 hours and 23:37. Helena Kirop's 2011 record-setting time. And these two absolutely poised to, I'm sure, bludgeon one another as the race goes on. It's going to be a real battle. 10 years separates these two impressive athletes. Chirono, the senior, all the experience in the world, and the defending champion. But Sule Utura Ghetto would love to take blood here this afternoon. Warmed up very nicely for Venice in Dubai. That was 8 months ago, back in January. So she'll be well fresh to take on Chirono as they come into the San Giuliano Park, and particularly that crucial stage where the race will be won or lost typically across the Liberty Bridge. We've seen some massive changes in the leading runners as they go across the 4 kilometers. It's a featureless run, just water either side of you, which when you're already struggling mentally does nothing to excite the mind and want you run for more. And that is a real punishing ending to this Venice Challenge. So David Metto it is, just at the back of the pack. A tall figure in the orange colours. But still the favourites. Shami Abdullahi Dawood looking very nice. Beautifully positioned in the heart of the leading pack. There's Metto on the right side, but just making a little bit of a run here. Moses Kemai, number 23, starting to attack a little bit more again here. And still on his outside, the left flank man, Bernard Bett it is. The Kenyan, as they are very much approaching the half marathon mark. 20 kilometers bettered the sudden change of scenery. They go from the splendor of the villas to the much blander industrial Porto Marghera. Marghera meaning there was the sea in ancient Venetian dialect. This area developed in 1917 because of the inadequacy of Venice's existing port, Bacino San Mario, to service the large ships. And by 1940, more than 60 factories had been established on this Porto Marghera site. 20 kilometers, they join the SP11 road, and then 21 kilometers, 97 meters is the half marathon point, where the road turns a gentle left to enter Marghera, leaving the industrial area and marking the halfway point. And the time is very quick. 1 hour, 3 minutes, 4 minutes is approaching. But approaching the half marathon, this is a blistering pace from these 7 men at the head of affairs here. And still dangerously positioned in the middle of your picture. Shami Dawood, the Ethiopian, looking to claim his first Venice Marathon title, with these 6 men trying every inch of the journey to deny him. Still lurking at the back of the pack is David Metto, the tall figure in the orange for Kenya. It's Bernard Bett on the left side in the orange, and still our trailblazer, number 23, Moses Kemai for Kenya, our front marker. It's the Kenyans locked in the blue shirts. Robert Kiplimo alongside, sorry, the Ethiopian it is, alongside Kiplimo, Shami Dawood, the favourites. That's 22 on the right side, and Shami Dawood, the tall, or the number 2 it is. And we are approaching the half marathon point right now. 1 hour, 5 minutes, 27 seconds is the time. So looking good for another quick finish here at the 32nd Huawei Venice Marathon. That would be about 2 hours, 10 minutes, 30 seconds, something of that order. These top runners don't drop off much in pace into the second half of the marathon, where most normal, or the fun runners certainly, will be adding quite a lot of minutes into the second half of the run. These big boys are capable of sustaining, if not quickening the pace into the second half. That's in the black colours, the yellow shoes. That is Gilbert Chumba, the Kenyan, nicely positioned in 5th at the moment, just on the shoulders of the favourites. Shami Dawood, still out on the left flank, is Bernard Bett, number 25, the Kenyan. Still looking very comfy up at the head of affairs. Just tell you a little bit about Gilbert Chumba. He's 33 years of age and winner this year of the Kigali Peace Marathon in Rwanda, run annually to promote peace in the war-torn country after the '94 horrific mass genocide in Rwanda, where tragically 800,000 people, something of that magnitude, lost their lives in 100 days. Was the horrendous affair in Rwanda. But that Kigali Peace Marathon run annually to really mark the end of the atrocities and hopefully the new horizons of peace. And he won there in 2 hours, 19 minutes, 49 seconds this year. That was the 13th edition. He has a PB over half a marathon set in Brazzaville in Congo back in 2012. That was 1 hour, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. But there our leading lady, still looking very comfortable, up ahead of the female race. Priska Jepting-Cherono, Sula Utura Gedo, Kenya and Ethiopia. Shoulder to shoulder as they come down a little descent in the industrial port of Marghera. One of the big ships that's come in this morning. It's been heavy traffic on the Grand Canal. They've been coming in and out, the big guns, with their tens of thousands of tourists to come and visit the heart of Venice, and hopefully to welcome our elite athletes towards the finish line. And that's now only about an hour away. The best men will be leaving Marghera, leaving San Giuliano Park and crossing the Liberty Bridge to come into Venice. They'll be here in about 1 hour's time. And these ladies, we'd expect, will be about 10 or 15 minutes in arrears of the men. That will be the kind of time that Sula and Priska will be hoping to set. Well, once they're out of Marghera, they'll come in towards the residential area of Marghera. That's at kilometre 23, which is fast approaching. Via Tomaseo and the Piazzale Concordia will be awaiting. 1 hour, 10 minutes for our leading ladies. The same configuration, just edged ahead, as she has been for the entirety of the race so far. Sula Utura Gedo, the younger 27-year-old Ethiopian, but being tracked by the tigress that is Priska Cherono, the defending champion. As you can see, the wind just picked up a little bit here in Venice. Those banners just rattling a little bit, which is an ominous sign for the runners, as they know there'll be some wind to face. As if the mileage of itself wasn't enough to contend with, there'll be a little bit of a breeze stiffening on the Liberty Bridge. 23 kilometers is being approached as we speak. The lead runners well over the half marathon point now, and as we say, the men's time 1 hour, 5 minutes, 30 seconds or so. So we're on for a quick time here this afternoon for sure. I think John Coleman's 2:08 course record is safe as houses, particularly with the sight we've just seen of the wind bristling in pace. But the lead man, I'm sure, will be putting in a strong performance in any case, whatever the weather does this afternoon. Sorry. So now times are through for the half marathon. I can tell you the leaders, Bernard Bett and Moses Kemai, the quickest 2 times. Shami Dawood and Mutai Kipkamai, 1 second in arrears. And then it's David Metto, Gilbert Chumba on 15. Our leading ladies through the industrial area of Marghera, side by side virtually, both looking now very comfortable. I still quite like the chances of Sula Utura Gedo, I must say, in terms of her running style. Ease of movement, ease of breathing, looks very, very comfortable, but it's hard to go against the experience and the undeniable achievements of the hot favourite Priska Jepting-Cherono. So a real battle, and it's going to be fascinating to see how that unfolds over the next hour or so. The boat traffic is building in the Grand Canal, waiting for the men that won't be so far away now from approaching the heart of Venice. Be coming into the slightly blander section of the course. As kilometre 25 approaches, they'll make the transition from Marghera in towards the mainland city of Mestre, which is the final bastion of the mainland before the lagoon and crossing to the heart, the island heart of Venice. And now you can see the pace is strengthening. Moses Kemai looks as though he's just upped the ante a little bit. Number 23 at the front of your picture. But the runners in the lead pack are responding to the little injection of pace he just set on fire there. They will not be battered at this point for sure, as they round this curving, snaking line down into the latter stages of Marghera. The fountains on the left side. They'll come through the subway passage underneath the Mestre train station. That's at kilometre 25, just after the 24-kilometre mark is finished. But still, Kemai out in front. Bet tracks him. The favourite, Shami Abdullah Dawood, is now in third, and the men's pack is extending down this Marghera long street as Kemai puts on the gas. Bet is trying to stay with him, but this is a real breakaway move here from Kemai as they come into the latter stages of Marghera. And it looks as though this leading pack is just breaking up, fractionating, because Kemai has put in such a surge of pace here. Yes, this is a big move from Kemai. He's trying to split up the leading pack here. But it looks as though they're staying with him. There you can see the distance between the front of the race and the first Italian. And that's 348 meters between our leading pack and the best Italian at the moment, who is, I think, Fanio Gebrievet, the Eritrean-born Italian national. But now we can see the men's pack is starting to fraction. Kemai has broken them to some extent here. Real drop off the pace, and I think the favourite Dawood is one of those who's suffering. Certainly the guy at the back is really having a battle on his hands. Kemai's put in a huge puncture into the tyres of the others. At the end of Marghera, he's really broken this leading pack right up, and he's really paved the way to the finish line for him. We'll see who stayed with him in a moment. I couldn't make out from the aerial view, but hopefully we'll close down in a moment and see who has clung to Kemai in this injection of pace. We focus on this breakaway group at the head of affairs in the Huawei Venicemarathon 32nd edition. I can't wait to go from our helicopter down to the bike to see who has broken away here. It looks as though there's been a little bit of a catch-up, though. It looks as though those that were beaten for a moment have now recovered. And now they run underneath the Mestre station. They're right between the 24 and 25 kilometre mark. They go underneath this mainland train station of Mestre. They'll then emerge into Via Dante directly after the subway. Very busy traditionally, packed with spectators, because this is a point where the runners really need some support to galvanize their muscles. There'll be a little bit of fatigue setting in now, and they need to summon the energy to power through San Giuliano, to then power across the Liberty Bridge. This is a fascinating part of the 2017 Venice Marathon. The women's race is a much more composed affair because no change at the top of affairs, with still Sule Ghetto locked in battle with the defending champion, Prisca Chirono. They're absolutely shoulder to shoulder. The men's been a much more chip and charge affair, and I can't wait to see the result of that breakaway attempt from Kemai in a moment, because it looked as though he'd broken the others for a second, but then they've got back on terms very quickly, and that is crucial. Any advantage here could be fatal. Well, the men's pack has certainly been broken up to some degree. But what on earth's going on here? It looks like they've taken the wrong route. Well, this is extraordinary goings on here. The men have turned around. They've holding their hands out as if to say, we don't know where we're going here. This is extraordinary, unheard of in Venice. And of course, the others will, if they don't make the same mistake, have a big advantage here. It's come just after kilometre 25 on the turn to 26. Extraordinary scenes. This is the point where they're reversed. They've gone the wrong way. They're blatantly running down a main road. But now this makes the race fascinating because you would assume the others won't make the same mistake that are about 300 meters behind. And now we're going to have a real battle. Looks like we're back on track now. At the back of your picture, David Metto for Kenya. Wow, this is unprecedented scenes here in Venice with the confusion. Out in front, the man that broke the pack up, Moses Kemai. Number 23 has now established a good lead for himself, being tracked by Gilbert Chumba, number 4 for Kenya. And then it's Mutai Kipkamai, who's in that chasing group. But as you can see, the men have splintered, fractioned. Firstly, the injection of pace, then that incredible confusion. They were running the wrong way. Incredible scenes here in Venice. That's number 3 at the back, Mutai Kipkamai. Number 4, Gilbert Chumba. And the man who's dominating as we come to 1 hour 20, Moses Kemai, our leader. So the ladies still tucked on each other's shoulders. Ethiopia and Kenya battling for the honours for 2017 here in Venice. The Queen of the Adriatic, this famous marathon. Prisca Chirono would love to do the double, but the lady 10 years her junior, the Ethiopian star, Sule Ghetto, will be, of course, trying to deny her. One of our wheelchair racers. Going nicely, that's Federico Rossi in the wheelchair. Wonderful to have them with us as well this morning and this afternoon. Through Mestre. It's via Quarini, Carducci and Rossa, the 3 big streets they'll pass through Mestre, this heavily populated heart of mainland Venice. As they run down towards San Giuliano Park, which will come at kilometre 28 into the biggest 700 hectare park here in Venice. The men's chasing pack, we've got Mogo Shume, Eritrea, that's him there, number 24. Number 6 in the mix as well. That's the home favourite for Italy. Faniel Gebrihevets, the former Eritrean. We've also got Mohamed Musa, the back of the chasing men's pack, in the black colours of number 5. Just ahead is Faniel on the left side in the orange and black number. And second of that pack is Mogos Shume, the Eritrean, in the blue colours. Just can't quite get a sight on the number of the front runner of the chasing pack. I think it's 27. We'll just confirm that for you in a moment. 1 hour 24 for this quartet that are tracking down Mutai Kipkamai, Gilbert Chumba and Moses Kemai. No sign of Shami Dawood, number 2, which is a slight confusion. The favourite has dropped out of our pictures in both the leading and the chasing pack, which is surprising, concerning. Not quite sure where Shami has dropped off our radar too. Perhaps in that shake-up with the course confusion, but no sign of him just as yet. We hope he's still with us, and we just have maybe just missed him in our camera shot, but not guaranteed. Now this was the moment just before they went wrong on the course. This, I think, was just shortly before the confusion, when the leading men had to retrack, reroute, but amazingly they weren't caught. So whether the chasing pack were directed the wrong way as well, or whether the leading pack were just so far ahead they kept ahead, we don't know. But whatever, the top boys have done fantastically well to keep ahead of affairs, as now you'll see them through the subway. This is the 25-kilometre mark as they come between Marghera and the mainland end stay of Mestre. Quite a long loop it is through the subway as well. There once again is the chasing pack here at the Huawei Venicemarathon. I've got a bike alongside, just keeping them on track now after that early scare. The early navigational error, which I must say I've never seen myself in marathon running. That's pretty much unheard of. I think it's number 21 at the head of the chase pack, which is Rogers Mayo for Kenya. Out in front, that's number 21. As we say, we've got Faniel Gebrihevets, the Italian, in second. That's number 6, and number 24, the outside of your picture, is Mogos Shume. But there, the Italian, who would love to give the home nation a victory. He's got a lot of ground to catch up on the leaders. We haven't seen a recent split of the gap that has been established by the lead pack and the chasers, but I can imagine it's easily a minute or so that the lead group have opened up over these chasing quartets. St Mark's Square is gathering in numbers, very much so, as they anticipate the ending, which is now really bearing down on us. Will only be some 40-45 minutes until the lead runners come home. But there you see, that's Italian hope. Faniel Iob Gebrihevets, the Eritrean-born Italian, who's starting to chase down the leaders, looking very comfortable here. And this is again some injection of pace here. as he's approaching San Giuliano Park at kilometre 28 is on his horizon, immediate horizon as well. He's a young man, only 24 years of age, the young Italian. And recent winner of the Rome Half Marathon. That was in September, set a very, very quick 1 hour, 3 minutes and 26 seconds. And there, Chirono takes on some important water as she moves into the last third of her 2017 Venice Marathon campaign. Still looking comfortable and easy. Well, this is interesting at the head of affairs of the ladies because it looks as though Sule Gedo, the Ethiopian, has just opened up a little bit of a gap over the favourite Priska Chirono. As you can see, some 20 metres or so now. Chirono rarely chasing. As you can see, there's her statistics, the PB she set in winning last year, 2 hours 27, but she's got a real battle on her hands now. As she comes through Mestre and the Ethiopian's heels are on her eye line, that will be of concern. And I must say, the ease that Sule is running will also be on Priska's mind. She can see this Ethiopian youngster looking so comfortable. But there's sight of Faniel Gebrievet, the Italian, crossing into San Giuliano Park. He's chasing down the leaders. We haven't seen them for a little while, the leaders, but they'll already be in the heart of San Giuliano's Park. This 700-hectare largest park in Europe. It was a recovered environment, and that was designed to study the lagoon's environment. It has hosted the Heineken Jamming Festival. That was up into 2012. The Electro Venice Festival has been here since 2010, and also the Venice International Boat Show, all in this San Giuliano green space. Well, we haven't seen our leaders for some time because I'm pretty sure that Faniel Gebrievet, as much as it would delight the home audience, the spectators here, I don't think he's taken over the lead, but we haven't seen our lead pair for some time because at the moment we can see Mogos Shume, the Eritrean, locked with Faniel Gebrievet in battle there in the heart of San Giuliano Park. Well, now we get the first actual scores to come through. Apologies because our screen with the scores was just down for a moment, but by all reckoning it looks as though these two, in fact Faniel Gebrievet has broken the lead, as I can only imagine, because of that course navigation issue a little bit earlier, because about a minute quicker coming out of Mestre was Faniel Gebrievet than Moses Kemai. That was number 23, the early leader. So we can only assume that these two in our picture are now the leaders because of that loss of direction from the leading pack that was the earlier leaders. So Kemai, Kip Kemai, Chumba, Meto and Dawood have all dropped off the pace by about a minute, and these two in front in our pictures now are the new leaders in fact, so we can only assume that navigational problem from the early leaders has cost them big here in Venice, and these two men are now at the head of affairs, and that is Shume Head to head now with Faniel Gebrievet, and this is delightful news to the Italian crowd who would love a winner dearly. We're pretty shocked by the news. I did think it was a little bit confusing because after the loss of direction, it looked as though the leaders still were out in front. But then suddenly they were out of our picture. So off the camera, there's clearly been a big change in the lead. And the big question now is there enough time for the chasing pack, the early leaders, to catch up? That is the fascinating question. They're approaching kilometers 28, 29, so I think there is still time. Still 14 kilometers, but it's about a minute, the deficit. It's going to be fascinating, it really is. This huge upset in form with that loss of direction. And yes, the Italian thumbs up it is. As Faniel Gebrievet, number 6, just starts to open up a little advantage already over Mogos Shume, the Eritrean. Our top 2 now as they power through San Giuliano Park. Well, it's a big cheer down here at the finish line as the Italian crowd see that their man, Faniel Gebrievet, has opened up a good lead now over Mogos Shume. So the Italians have got a great chance of a victory here. Of course, the big question is whether the chasing pack, those early leaders, can catch up the deficits. But 24-year-old Eyob Gebrievet is out in front. Came through Mestre, the 25-kilometer mark, in 1 hour and 18 minutes, 32 seconds. And it's about a minute, if not now a little bit more, that he's opened up. I can tell you that, in fact, they are catching up because the times are now in for Mutai Kipkamai, Gilbert Chumba, and they were through the Parco San Giuliano, the 30-kilometer mark, in 1:34.43, whereas Faniel Gebrievet was through in 1:34.07. So it's about 34, 35 seconds only that separates those early leaders and the man who is giving the Italians something to really cheer about. Faniel's been here in Cassola for quite a few years now. As we say, in scorching form, winning the Rome Half Marathon in September. 1 hour, 3 minutes, 26 seconds was his time, and now he's going it alone in the latter stages of Parco San Giuliano. They'll run for 3 kilometers or so in the park before the sponging station on the approach to the Ponte de Liberta coming at the 33-kilometer mark. They'll start across the Freedom Bridge as they run into the heart of Venice, but he's got it on his own now. The chasing pack are looking as though they're straggling a little bit. Real frustration it really has been, because that navigational loss has cost the likes of Kipkamai and Kemai, those early breakaway runners. And this man has got it now at his mercy to some degree, as we say. They've got about 40 seconds to catch up, and they've got about 14 kilometers to do that in. But at this already very brisk pace, it's a tall order, even for these world-class athletes, to play such a big degree of catch-up, especially with the wind that, as you can see, with the leaves on the streets, is already starting to bluster here in Venice. As Faniel Gebrievet really starts to make his mark now on the 2017 marathon, as he'll come very shortly onto the Liberty Bridge. Well, the 2017 Venice Marathon so far has thrown the form book right out of the window in both the men's and the women's race, with this man out in front. 24 years of age as he starts now his battle across the Freedom Bridge. The women's form book as well has been thrown out the window, with Sule Utura Ghetto way out in front now. Prisca Sharono, the defending champion. So form has turned out to be nothing today. Of course, a slight navigation, or a big navigational error. It was a slight mistake, but it's been very costly in terms of the result. Has partly accounted for this man being out in front, but whatever. He's battling. 1 hour 40 is coming up on the clock, but I must say, Faniel is looking so comfortable. He's clearly got a lot of petrol left in the tank. His marathon PB, 2 hours, 15 minutes, 39 seconds. I think he's going to smash that this afternoon. He's looking so comfortable. Eritrean of origin, but an Italian national for the last 2 years, pretty much exactly. Took up Italian citizenship in 2015. And there you see his credentials. At Florence PB last year. Ran him into third place in Florence. He's going to go better than that today, whatever the chasing pack can do, I'm sure. Just checks his watch as you can see what awaits Faniel Gabrievet, this impressive Liberty Bridge. It's exactly 3.85 kilometers long. It was built alongside the Venice Railroad Bridge. That was built in 1846. There you see the winning margins. It's been tight on a few occasions with just 1 second. 2014, Kip Koech taking over Goffi, the Italian policeman. Lost out by a second. But he's extending across the bridge beautifully. The Ponte della Libertà Liberty Bridge was designed in 1932 by Eugenio Miozzi, the engineer. Opened in 1933 by Benito Mussolini under its original name, Ponte Littorio. And then the name changed at the end of World War II to Ponte della Libertà to signify the end of the fascist dictatorship and the end of Nazi occupation. But 3.85 kilometers of featureless, bland running, the wind in his face. And there you can just see the female leader on the left-hand side of your pictures, tucked in. Sule Utura Ghetto, the Ethiopian. Going very, very well, and what an upset this would be if she can take the huge scalp of Prisca Charono. The defending champion is on the ropes here, as the Ethiopian will start to now consolidate her victory, or certainly her winning margin, and will be hoping to victory in now about 30 minutes or so. But as we say, if you're just joining us, the men's and women's race here in Venice have been totally against form. It's been a real race on the day. We've had a navigational problem exiting Mestre, which has really thrown the race wide open, and the Italian of Eritrean descent, Faniel Gabrievet, is running away with the 2017 Huawei Venice Marathon. He's built up quite a big lead as he extends across the Liberty Bridge. Well, look at this. Comfy, easy distance running from Faniel Gebrevets. Looks absolutely in his comfort zone here as he bids for victory. That loss of direction plus this beautiful exhibition has just splintered the chasing pack. And he really is looking imperious as he lengthens his stride, presses cruise control on, and the Ponte della Liberta is going to be quickly eclipsed by this very impressive athlete. Approaching the 1 hour 3/4 mark is Faniel Gebrevets as the Venice Lagoon awaits. As you can see, the waves just ruffling on the surface with the wind that is seemingly not a problem to the Italian front runner. And St. Mark's Square waits for the Italian victory, which is looking ever increasingly likely here. It really is.
He's in front at 1 hour and 45 minutes here live. We see this live in live content. So this is a great race from Eyop from the Venice Marathon Club, and he is still in front here, and he is now running 1.45 minutes. And at the women's race we have just the next Italian on the 6th place, Anna Zio on the 7th place, Elisa Comiso 1.44.28.
Well, the breakaway initially was between Shumei and Gebrevets, but it is Gebrevets who's got the race to himself as he crosses the Liberty Bridge. Composed, relaxed, looking effortless, even though he's now approaching the 39-kilometer mark. And that is the Ethiopian at the head of affairs in the female race for the Huawei Venicemarathon. Sula Utura Ghetto, the Ethiopian, the 27-year-old who, again, has really upset the form with this super display. She's in the heart of San Giuliano Park and looking very, very good, comfortable. Sula Ghetto with a PB last year, 2 hours 34 minutes. But there you see Gebrevets is really sparking the Italians. We've got the commentator here at the finish line. He's really getting motivated to celebrate an Italian victory. There's going to be some celebration if Faniel can keep up this relentless pace. He's in a super rhythm. I'd love to see a view, but look, there's nobody in his wake. He's got the Liberty Bridge to himself. He is literally running for freedom here. The others nowhere to be seen. And there in San Giuliano Park, Sula Utura Ghetto still looking very, very comfortable. From Bor in Ethiopia, world junior champion of 5,000 meters in 2008. But look at the gap that this man has established. There's nobody in his sights. He's literally coasting home here. Has got a little bit of energy even to have a signal to his support team or the camera on the bike.
At the women's race we have after 30 kilometers now, we have in front Utura.
And I can tell you as well that this lady has now opened up nearly 1 minute over Prisca Chirono. 1:45.20 at the 30-kilometer mark was Sula Ghetto, and the defending champion and Olympian Prisca Chirono is trailing now, 1:46.13. So it's about a minute that Sule Ghetto will have to defend across the Ponte della Libertà. But as you see, Faniel Gabrievet is well across the Freedom Bridge, and the Italian crowds are getting frenetic already. They're going to have to wait about 20 minutes until he comes home, but this is a powerful display from the former Eritrean. It's giving us a wonderful run here.
Telecamere fisse in piazza San Marco, telecamera mobile, quella personale, quella più importante, quella del leader Job Faniel.
So Faniel Gabrievet is still looking so easy and just picks up a water. He looks absolutely in the mode here. This is a superb display. We'll have a little bit of an energy bar, a slurp of water, and then start to think towards the heart of Venice, which is awaiting this brilliant run, and of course the rapturous applause that are for sure approaching in 20 minutes or so, as he gives the Italian crowd just what the doctor ordered. And there you see the estimate, 2:11.55. He'll smash his PB.
Passaggio al 35esimo chilometro per Job Faniel, 1 ora 49 minuti e 23 secondi. Proiezione finale da 2 ore 11 minuti.
The PB he has 2 hours 15:39, so he's going to slash something like 4 minutes off his personal best with this commanding display. Still in an easy rhythm, he's just flowing across the Liberty Bridge, and this is going to give the Italian crowds such delight as they're within now about 20 minutes of welcoming their man down across the finish line in Riva Sette Martiri, the finish line for the marathon, which is ever fast approaching. Superb overheads of the Queen of the Adriatic, which is now bristling with energy. The volume is picking up already. We've still got 20 minutes till the conclusion of the 2017 Huawei Venice Marathon, but this man is running for victory. It's such composure. It's been such a powerful run. The rhythm has been relentless. And Faniel Gabrievet, as I say, is going to tear his PB to shreds this afternoon. He'll slash 4 minutes off his PB if the predicted time is anything to go by. And St. Mark's Square will be now about 17 or 18 minutes away from Faniel's reach. He'll come off the bridge at about kilometre 37. The track turns then right off the bridge down into the harbour of Venice. And there's the lady who again has totally overturned the form book and has just put daggers in the challenge of the defending champion Chirono. Again, like the men's leader, so composed, so balanced. I'm just looking through the records at the moment to search for the last Italian winner here in Venice. But here's going to be the new champion. That, to me, is looking like a virtual certainty.
Chilometro 35 e Job Faniel 1:49.23, 1:50.09 per Gilbert Ciumba, 1:50.22 per Mohamed Moussa, 1.50.45 per Mutai Kipkamei, 1.52.00 per David Metto, 1.52.30 per Tanik Bamaruf.
It's been African domination, the tale of the last decade here at the Venice Marathon. Of course, the doubles of Koskai in the mid-2000s and Rotic latterly have been so dominant. As Faniel Gabrievet looks to me to be strengthening. He's now off the Liberty Bridge. 36 kilometers completed. He's got 6K to run around the heart of the island of Venice. And this is such a brilliant run we're seeing here. Of course, a little bit assisted by the sad navigational problems for the early leaders, but that is sports. That is one of those things that can, of course, happen. I'm pretty sure that the last Italian winner actually was Danilo Goffi, winner in '95, so that's an impressive 22 years ago, and that is going to break a huge drought for the nationals here. As I say, Goffi, the Italian policeman, winner back in '95.
Yes, and Elo from Italy has just passed Pontoon Bridge. He's just away from the bridge. He's just running.
As you can see there, the statistics, 14 bridges are those that must be battled in the last kilometers, including the Pontoon Bridge, which is the one that is constructed overnight. And as you won't know, but is up on our screens, the lead that Faniel Gabrievet has opened up is a big one. It is 46 seconds that he leads Gilbert Chumba, the Kenyan, in second. Then it's Mohamed Moussa, third for Eritrea, 1:50.22. That is again about a minute in arrears of the winner, or what's looking like the winner. Mutai Kipkamai, fourth for Kenya. David Metto, one of the early leaders, is now in fifth. And it's Tariq Bamaruf, the Moroccan, who's nudged up into sixth position. The front runners of the Huawei Venice Marathon. So we catch sight again of our leader off the Liberty Bridge on the right side, coming over kilometer 38. We'll have the Isola del Troncheto, or Isola Nuova, the New Island as it's also known, the artificial island in the Venetian lagoon at the westernmost tip of the Venice island, created in 1960. But now the humongous car park for tourists who can't bring their automobiles into this carless city. And now the big people mover from Troncheto to Piazzale Roma. Over 900 meters that ferries people from their cars to the heart of Venice. Faniel Gabrievet still looking absolutely composed, as he's very much now on his home journey. He's got about another 14 minutes to run. And he's absolutely destroyed the field, as we said. Of course, that navigational error, but then he was side to side with Shumei, the Eritrean, but he broke him before the Liberty Bridge in San Giuliano Park. And that is going to be the frenzied scene in just 15 minutes or so, when the Italians welcome home their first victory since Danilo Goffi winning in '95. That 17-year drought is going to be given a downpour of water, of champagne, by Faniel Gebrievet, who's very much now on the home journey.
Messo assolutamente in difficoltà il forte atleta del Venicemarathon Club.
Faniel Gebrievet for Italy, for the Venice Marathon Club, his home marathon here in the Queen of the Adriatic, is heading very much now powerfully for victory. He's into the last 5 kilometers as he now comes along the Giudecca Canal. He's at kilometer 39. This known as the Spina Lunga, the long thorn, and that thorn he's just driven into his rivals this morning. Some cruise ships as well to celebrate with the Italian, who's only got now some 3 kilometers to go for the finish line. 2 hours are up in the Huawei Venicemarathon for this man to command a win for Italy. That's nearly certain now. The lead he's built up over Gilbert Chump and Mohamed Musa Mutai Kipkamai is not going to be battered. And Faniel is running away with the men's victory, still leading the female race. Sulutura Ghetto, the Ethiopian, again has totally upset the form books. And we can't believe that Priska Chirono has been beaten. I'm quite glad I saw it early in the race. I had a funny feeling that the Ethiopian's smooth, unflustered running style looks so comfortable, maybe would give her victory. I said it was a hard thing to call because of the experience and accolades that Priska Chirono has won, but that has borne out to be true. But now we see Faniel Gebrievet into the bridge section. The 13 permanent bridges and the 1 lagoon crossing, the big pontoon at Punta della Dogana as well for this man who is running away with the Huawei Venicemarathon. Into the last kilometers. He's now 10 minutes away from the finishing line. He is running now along Fondamenta Zattieri, the 2-kilometer long embankment alongside the Giudecca Canal. The coloured houses, the churches of Giudecca, alongside him will be landmarks that he's completely oblivious to, of course, as he runs the home nation towards their first victory in 17 years. Faniel Gebrievet is getting a huge ovation down at the finish line on Riva Sette Martiri, but he's got a little way to go yet. 8 minutes or so, as we say. His PB, 2 hours and 15 minutes, is going to be totally destroyed this afternoon. That PB running into 3rd last year in Florence, and there you see the history. Kenya out in front with 14 wins historically.
After 35 kilometers, the leading woman
Salvatore Bettiol winning the first two editions of the Venice City Marathon. Danilo Goffi, another one of the legends here. But this 24-year-old Fanio Gabrievet is running into the history books here. Cruising down the Fondamenta Zattiere with just now a couple of kilometers to run. It's been such a commanding display. Ever since he broke Mogot Shume in San Giuliano Park, he's just taken the race by the scruff and collar. Has just kept cool as a cucumber. The rhythm is unchanged. And he's really starting now to run for home. I can tell you that Sule Utura is at the head of affairs still in the female battle as well. Looks to have well broken Prisca Jepeting Chirono, the defending champion. But Fanio Gabrievet has got nobody in his wake. He has run away with this marathon. The rivals are beaten. He's just got to now enjoy the trip home. The next 6 minutes or so, just cruise home and just savor the moments. Lives and trains in Casola here in the Vicenza province, so this is now his home. 2 hours, 5 minutes up on the clock, and St. Mark's Square fast approaching. Fanio Gabrievet is just extending his lead. Still in this beautiful, almost graceful running style. Look at the spring of the stride in the last stages. It's so impressive. Endurance running at his very, very best. He's only 24 years of age. He's some 7 years junior to most of the big guns that were firing here in Venice, so he's got a lot of distance running left in him. And this is an outstanding talent for the future. As he comes now to Ponte della Dogana, the 170-meter long, huge pontoon bridge. 40 kilometers is up, so 2K to run for the finish line for Fanio Gabrievet. He's still commanding this Venice Marathon as he'll scoot off the Lagoon Bridge any moment. And St. Mark's Square is awaiting. The people of Venice are getting ready for an explosion to greet their first winner in 17 years since Danilo Goffi won back in '95. So Fanio just says to the pigeons, please, this is my stage now, guys. He clears the way. He'll come into St. Mark's Square any moment. 24 years of age. There you see the predicted time, 2 minutes and 2 hours, 12 minutes. As we say, he's going to blaze his PB apart by some 3 minutes. And there's the scene that is awaiting as he comes in towards St. Mark's Square. And of course, there's a brilliant reception. He's destroyed a field of outstanding talent, including Shami Dawood, the favourite, who's been blown apart by this young Eritrean-born Fanio Gabrievet, now running for Italy, and goes through St. Mark's Square. And the crowd's delighted with the first Italian victory for some 17 years. He's within minutes now of the finish line of the Huawei 32nd edition of the Venice Marathon, and still he keeps the composure, keeps the rhythm, and he's, if anything, extending away. Still looking so easy. Faniel Gabrievets with just 1 kilometer left to go here in Venice. The sight is literally the finish is literally within sight now of the Italian. As 2 hours and 9 minutes comes up on the clock, he's got about 3 minutes of running left to go. A few bridges to cross, a few little hurdles. They're really mere tripwires now in this brave, brave effort. Still fresh legs, running free. And as we say, he's just destroyed the Experience field here this afternoon. And the finish is very much in sight. Well, we can see the stats at 40 kilometers. It's a whopping 2 minutes and 13 seconds, the advantage that Faniel Gabrievet has opened up over Mohamed Musa. He's absolutely annihilated the field. We're now eyeing up the finish line. So Faniel Gabrievet, 2 hours, 10 minutes is up on the clock, and he is coming into sight any moment to the final bridge here on Riva delle Martiri. The crowds are waiting, the anticipation, 17 years of pain, of waiting, is about to be shattered in a moment of sheer excitement, joy for this Italian, now Eritrean, Faniel Gabrievet is approaching home here in Venice. As we say, his PB is going to be blown apart. Heading this international field by way over 2 hours. 2 minutes, I should say. We await side of Faniel Gabrievet. 2 hours 11 up on the clock as we speak. And he's coming towards the final bridge here for the 32nd edition of the Huawei Venicemarathon. He's at the penultimate bridge as we speak. At any moment, he will come to the final bridge, the 14th bridge here in Venice, and the sight of the finish line is awaiting. He comes to the final bridge and he's crossing it now. The fans going wild here in the finish line. Faniel Gabrievet grits his teeth, checks his watch, and he cruises home. 100 meters to run. He has destroyed the field here in Venice, and look at the speed as he comes home. Well done. Faniel Gabrievet is the 2017 Huawei Venice City Marathon. He stops the clock in 2 hours, 12 minutes and 16 seconds. And that is a very special performance. And the 24-year-old is, of course, so emotional as the 2017 Huawei Venice City Marathon champion. What a run. The chasing pack, I'm afraid, are nowhere to be seen. He's just demolished the opposition in a controlled, rhythmical, powerful display of distance running. And I tell you what, it was quite something just to see the energy that he came home across the line with. He still has got a lot of petrol in the tank. As now we see those that are going to be coming in second and third. Chumba, Gilbert Chumba for Kenya. We can see Musa, Mohamed Musa for Eritrea, as well as approaching home.
bekommen. Eyob gewinnt hier den 32. Venicemarathon seit 1996. Hier gewonnen. Eine Leistung von ihm. Aber wir warten natürlich jetzt auf die nächsten.
While waiting at the finish line for those that are coming shortly home, Musa is on the home journey. Mohamed Musa for Eritrea, just a couple of bridges left for him. He looks really battle weary. I tell you, the pace that Faniel Gebrievet put in the latter third has broken the opposition, as you can see. They've tried to keep up with him, but that pace has just proved way too strong. And as we say, has given the home nation Italy a fantastic victory, but we wait for second, and it is going to be Mohamed Musa for Eritrea, who is now on the home journey. 2 hours 15 is just up on the clock for the man that comes home in second, and of course Eritrea he runs for, Faniel's mother country Eritrea as well, so it's a wonderful performance. Has a big smile, it is for number 5. Mohamed Musa comes home. The Eritrean is second, and 2 hours 15, 20 seconds. It is for him.
We have seen him, and we are waiting for the third place so far. Second place, Mohamed Musa, Eritrea. 2 hours, 15 minutes.
Well, the top 2 men have come home here in the Huawei Venicemarathon. We await for the next, and it's going to be Gilbert Chumba. He'll be home in a moment. The Kenyan, couple of bridges to run.
Vicino alla conclusione Gilbert Kipleting Zumba, Andrea Kenyano.
Chumba we see coming down towards home, being chased by Tariq Bamarouf, the Moroccan. This is the battle for third, which it looks like Bamarouf is going to take it. The Moroccan comes home on the podium. 2 hours 16 and 41 seconds coming home. And the Kenyan Chumba comes home like an aeroplane to come in 4th position. Well, St. Mark's Square, what an atmosphere in the heart of Venice. Looks truly impressive. The Italian crowd given with this winning moment. The 17-year wait finished by Faniel Gebrievet, the first Italian victory since '95. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's just a moment. Pause in live commentary here in Venice, as I'll just take a quick trip to go and interview Faniel Gebrievet, the new Italian champion. We'll be back with you in just a few moments.
foto dov'è? Perso la camera. Una foto. Make the photo before because we are now ready to record it. I don't know why.
Der Hubschrauber ist ober ihr in Kürze erwarten die Siegerin bei den Damen.
Momenti di gloria ancora, e si meritate. Meritati a pieni voti, a pieno titolo per Eyob Paniel. Bravo Eyob!
Congratulations, great winner, a great sportsman. Thank you very much. And now we will wait.
Massimiliano strappato, bravo! C'entra ancora una top 10, Massimiliano strappato, bravo
only my okay and make a focus. Okay? Everyone? Okay.
I'm delighted to be joined at the finish line by the first Italian winner in 17 years, Eyob Faniel. Eyob, it must be a very special moment for you to win here in Venice. Tell us how you're feeling.
Yeah, I'm very happy because I win in my home, because I am with the club Venicemarathon, and what I can say, I'm so happy.
You look very easy across the Liberty Bridge. Your running was really smooth and strong. How did you feel out there?
Yeah, I training very good for this for today, and it's coming everything easy. What I can say, I just want to say thank you to Huawei Venicemarathon, my club, my coach Ruggero Pertile, and my family.
And you're only 24 years old and you've taken 3 minutes off your personal best, so the next few years must be very exciting for you.
I hope, because today was very difficult, because Venice is not easy. It's not easy like another race, but it was good. I'm happy for this. I will try to go down to 2 hours and 12, but it's okay like this.
Faniel, the first Italian winner for 17 years. Congratulations. Enjoy this afternoon, and very, very many congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Scusa, ma dopo ne fai ancora per noi?
Well, apologies for the slight delay in the commentary because of the wait to speak to Faniel Eyob, but we're so glad we did, because what a charming winner he is for Italy. And we've just, of course, seen the female victory, and Sula Utura-Gedo for Ethiopia has broken the lady you see on your screens. It's a real turn in form, because the young Ethiopian, just 27 years of age, has come home to defeat the experienced Priska Jaboting-Cherono. And this was the moment when the 27-year-old Sula Utura-Gedo came home to stop the clock. Just under 2 hours 30, 2 hours 29 and 4 seconds. And breaking again her personal best by some 5 minutes. Her former PB, 2 hours 34, 8 seconds, 2 hours 29. Again, 5 minutes. She slices off her personal best to claim the Huawei 2017 Venice Marathon female crown. And it's this lady in your pictures, the hot favourite, who has been beaten. The defending champion will be second by the looks of things. Sula Utura-Gedo beating Priska Cherono. So sadly, Cherono can't do the double this year. Looking quite weary because of the injection of pace from the younger Ethiopian, and sadly, this fantastic athlete's effort to keep on terms with Gedo have caused her to be very tired as she'll cross the 170-metre long pontoon bridge across Punta della Dogana to bring her down into the heart of Venice.
Now we have the intermediate time for the second
10 years, the senior of Gedo and the Olympian from Beijing. 3 world championships for this lady as well, including the super podium bronze medal finish in Osaka, the World Games of 2007. So an incredible career for Priska Cherono. Over 10 years at the top of world-class athletics. As she comes off the pontoon bridge, she's at the San Marco ferry station. And just a short run now for home. She'll come back into St. Mark's Square, Piazza San Marco, any moment. But Cherono, I must say, looking weary. early signs we spotted just didn't look quite as smooth and as calm in her running. Early on, the signs, I'm afraid, were on the wall that maybe the younger Ethiopian could run away with it, and she has. But Chirono, nevertheless, backs up her Venice victory last year with a super second place in the women's race.
Ja, und jetzt noch einmal ganz kurz bei den Damen haben wir also die Siegerin auch schon im Ziel. Nach 42 Kilometer aus Äthiopien kommt sie, die Udula Gelo Sule, und sie ergeht hier heute mit einer Gesamtzeit von 2:29:04 im Vergleich zu beiden Herren. Der Sieger aus.
Well, just while we await Chirono at the finish line, I'll give you the confirmed male results. And we'll give you the top 10. In 10th position, it's Stefano Vallata for Italy, 2:30:51 seconds. In 9th for Italy as well. In fact, places 9 through to 6, all for the home nation. In 9th, Lorenzo Perlo, 2:28:12. 8th place, Roberto Graziotto, 2:27:43. In 7th place, Diego Avon, again for the home nation, 2:27:31. The best Italian finisher of the 2017 Huawei Venicemarathon was Massimiliano Strapato. He came home in 6th position, 2:27:14, some 15 minutes in arrears of the winning time. But the top of the leaderboard, of course, not the best for Italy, but the best Italian born and bred is in 6th. In 5th place is David Caprono Meto for Kenya, 2:19:51. 4th place, Gilbert Chumba, had a super run. Gilbert for Kenya, 2:16:47. Tariq Bamarouf has a super podium place. 3rd it is for Morocco. Some 4 minutes, 30 seconds down on the time of the winner. Gilbert Chumba, 2:16. Tariq Bamarouf for Morocco, 2:16:41 in 3rd. In 2nd, Mohamed Moussa for Eritrea, and 2:15:14. And that was about 3 minutes slower, so what a super winning margin for Faniel Ayob Gebrievet. He wins the 2017 Huawei title here in Venice for the home nation, Italy, by, as I say, about 3 minutes. The winning margin, which is a socking great victory for Faniel Ayob. But now we focus on Chirono in the last kilometres. The defending champion, beaten this morning and this afternoon by the younger Ethiopian. However, do not mistake this woman's class. So many years at the top of world-class athletics, a track Olympian, indeed a world champion bronze medal winner on the track as well, over 5,000 meters, and has been running the marathon since 2012, so only 5 years for Prisca Chirono at the highest distance. The last few bridges to negotiate for the defending champion at the end of her Venice Marathon campaign for 2017. So St Mark's Square greets the great Prisca Chirono, runner-up this afternoon. But as I say, don't be mistaken, she looks a little bit fatigued. She's had a busy enough season, this lady, but still it's a super second place. And she's very much now on the home journey. Well, the atmosphere here in Venice is truly buoyant. It really is. The first Italian victory for nearly 2 decades since Danilo Goffi's 95 victory, sealed by Faniel Eob Gebrevets for the home nation. And we await for Prisca Chirono, the Kenyan champion, who's very much now on the home straights. Beaten into second by the young rising star from Ethiopia, Sule Gedo. But we await Chirono, the champion, is coming down to the finish line. Chirono lopes for home, a little bit bloodied, a little bit wounded on the home run, gritting her teeth with these final few bridges to tackle. And there you see the largest women's winning margin, 11 minutes 59 seconds. Today's is also going to be a big one, I can tell you, because Sule Gedo came home 2 hours 29. And at the moment, that's about 10 minutes. So it depends really here what Chirono does in the home stages, because if we have another 2 minutes from here, it's going to be potentially the biggest gap we've ever seen. But I suspect she's going to slide home within that 2-minute window. She's got one more bridge to tackle. Just over 10 minutes at the moment. I'm pretty sure she'll come home within 2 minutes from here. Of course she will. She's on the final bridge. And the crowd's willing her home. As you can see, she's tired. Looks fairly leaden-footed, the great Kenyan champion. But Prisca Chirono will come down now. In fact, one more bridge to cross before the finish on the Riva Seta Martiri here, alongside the Venice Lagoon. We hope she comes home within that 2-minute window we described, because this great champion, it would be a shame if she went down in history as the biggest winning defeat here in Venice, as Prisca Chirono comes off the bridge. It's quite tight actually here. But whatever, that is irrelevant. Again, it's a valiant performance from Prisca Chirono. The defending champion backs up her 2016 Venice victory with second in the Huawei 2017 race, as Prisca Chirono comes home across the line for second. And 2 hours, 41 minutes and 6 seconds. Second place goes to Prisca Chirono for Kenya. Ethiopia taking the ladies' crown, and of course a famous victory for Italy, and they break a 17-year drought of a home victory here in Venice. And coming home in third, that is Ayanelem Vold-Michael for Ethiopia, very much on the home trip. Ayanelem Vold-Michael, there you see her, 33 years of age, Ethiopian. Her PB 2 hours 37. She's going to be about 4 minutes over her personal best. She set in Ahmedabad in India back in 2013. And third place it is, goes to Ayanelem Vold-Michael for Ethiopia. So once again, African domination in the ladies' race, with a win for Ethiopia, second for Kenya. And Ethiopia in third as well. At the head of affairs in the ladies' Huawei 2017 Venice Marathon.
With a total time 2 hours 16.41 from the team marathon. It's
Well, it's time for the prize giving for the men's race. And there you see the man who's a brilliant third. The bronze medal goes to Tariq Bamarouf from Morocco, 2 hours 16:41 seconds. About 4 minutes 30 seconds in arrears of the champion's time. Second place goes to this man, Mohamed Musa. It is for Eritrea. Takes a silver medal here in the Huawei Venice Marathon. 2 hours, 15 minutes, 14 seconds. Pretty much exactly 3 minutes behind the winning time. But the winner blazes his personal best apart by some 3 minutes, and indeed he beats the 2017 men's field by some 3 minutes as well. Eritrean born, now an Italian citizen, and the first victory for the home side for some 17 years. Faniel Eob Gebrievet lifts the men's trophy here. The Huawei Venice title goes to him. 2 hours, 12 minutes and 16 seconds. It's a brilliant 3 minute winning margin.
Congratulations. This is the official right ceremony for the first three category men.
Well, here's the moment that Faniel Eob realised he'd cracked the Venice crown. He coasts for home, he sees nobody in his trails, and he scalps a very good field by over 3 minutes to claim the Huawei Venice Marathon under improving skies and a fantastic atmosphere, celebrating the home victory this afternoon. The 1, 2, 3, Italy, Eritrea, Morocco.
Congratulations again to the three winners on the podium of the men's race 32.
Well, the gondoliers will have a little bit more juice to show for their guests here, with, I'm sure, news filtering all across Venice about the home victory here for Faniel Eob. Well, as we say, it's been a momentous Huawei Venice Marathon this year. The form book has been well and truly thrown out the window. It's been put to the torch with surprise victors in both the men's and the females' races. The hot favourite, we haven't seen him sadly finish. Shameh Abdullah Dawood, the 2:05 runner, was in very good shape early on, but then that navigational issue as they were exiting Mestre cost him and the other leaders the win and handed the home victory to Italy. And the women's race as well, a massive turnaround. The hot favourite, the defending champion, the Olympian Prisca Chirono, is battered and bruised, coming home into second, with the young Ethiopian Sula Gedo running away with the women's title and giving a super women's victory to Ethiopia. I can tell you the margin of Sule Ghetto's victory in the women's race is pretty much 11 minutes. So, in fact, 12 minutes, 12 minutes. Her winning time ahead of Prisca Chirono. These are winners of the 10K earlier. We've had so many runners coming home. Of course, the champions catch all of the highlights, all of the eyes are on them, but so many runners, as you can see, in their masses coming home over 10K and also over the marathon. And well done to all of our runners here, whatever age, whatever their times, just completing is a great success. And this the moment that changed the fate of the 2017 race with that navigational hiccup that gave victory to that man. Well, runners still coming home, as they will for certainly 2 or 3 more hours here. There's the fun runners, those that are battling for pride, for completion of the marathon. It's always such a big feather in every amateur's cap to come home and complete the huge 42-kilometer, 195-meter traditional marathon distance. Well done to all those that have battled this cold, steely grey day here in Venice. Chilly conditions are not ideal at all for marathon running, so well done to all of those that have completed, and of course those that have got only part of the way. We wish you better luck next time, but again, we admire your ability and your endeavours to start the Venice Marathon.
But when you
Well, those finishing now on the Riva Sette Martiri still finishing in very quick times. 2 hours 50 for those that are just coming across the finish line, which again is still very quick. Think of my best time, I think it was 4 hours 19. I did London in 2007 in 4 hours 19, which is absolutely humbled by these 2 hour times. It's truly impressive. Well, we'll give you the top 4 in the women's. Just 4 have crossed the line for the ladies. And in 4th place is Croatia's Nikolina Sustic. Nikolina coming home 2 hours 47 minutes and 21 seconds. And the top 3 all for Africa. 3rd place going to Ethiopia's Einalem Volder-Michael on the podium in 3rd, 2 hours 42:12. 2nd, the defending champion, Prisca Chirono, comes home. A dogged effort from the defending champion. She finished quite tired and quite weary, but still, it's a super 2nd here in Venice. 2 hours 41 minutes and 8 seconds for her. And as we say, that runaway victory by a whopping 12 minutes. It's the young Ethiopian rising star, Sule Ghetto. 2 hours, 29 minutes and 4 seconds is the winning time for the ladies here in Venice. Well, certainly the ladies' prize giving will happen very shortly. We will hope to bring you also an interview with a new ladies champion, Sula Gedo from Ethiopia. We'll be hoping to speak to her as well. But certainly it's wonderful scenes here in Venice. It's a real party atmosphere. Despite the gloomy, overcast skies, it's a real party atmosphere with that home victory going the way of Faniel Eob some half an hour or so ago. But it's time for the ladies' prize giving here at the Huawei Venicemarathon to crown the top three of the female race.
Alla presenza del direttore marketing di Huawei, Ettore Patriarca, del presidente del Consiglio Comunale di Venezia, Ermelinda Damiano, e del consigliere comunale di Venezia, Matteo.
Well, it's an African whitewash at the head of affairs in the ladies' race here in Venice. An African 1, 2, 3. And we await for the third place. The bronze medal goes. Well, the third place goes to Einelem Vold Michael. She's got on the wrong side. No problems. We'll well forgive her. A brilliant effort for third this afternoon. 2 hours 42:12. Some 13 minutes behind the winning time. Brilliant third it is for the Ethiopian. Einelem Vold Michael. Congratulations. And a very nice necklace for her efforts. For going out, I'm sure, to a big pasta dinner tonight. In second is the champion Chirono. Priska Jepeting Chirono, last year's champion, comes home in second. Sadly broken by the sheer pace and ease of running of Sula Gedo, but it's still a very good runners-up place for this incredible athlete from Kenya. 2 hours 41 minutes and 8 seconds, her time. First last year and second in 2017.
La proclamazione della regina della 32esima Huawei Venicemarathon.
We have now the winner of the women's race, first place so far.
Con il tempo di 2 ore 29 minuti.
However, the winner takes a huge scalp here this afternoon for the Huawei ladies' crown, winning by a breathtaking near 12 minutes ahead of a quite brilliant athlete. Sula Gedo comes of age this afternoon, and it is her first marathon victory here in Venice for Ethiopia. The winning time, 2 hours 29 minutes and 4 seconds to lift the ladies' crown this afternoon.
Women's official prize ceremony here at the 32nd Venice Marathon.
She's had a brilliant junior record, indeed the world champion at the junior level of 5,000 meters back in Poland in 2008. The PB, she said, in Paris, 2 hours 34 again, has been bettered by 5 minutes and 4 seconds this afternoon. And a super victory here in Venice for Ethiopia's Sula Gedo. Well done to her, ahead of Priska Chirono and Einelem Vold Michael, the top three in the ladies' race here